Welcome back to The Blend. You know, this fall, many of us are going to have kids going back to school, and some of them might be leaving the house for good, whether it be for college or to live on their own. For parents and caretakers, this transition can be very difficult emotionally.
It's often called the empty nest syndrome, and here to offer her support is our good friend, therapist and lifestyle coach, Amy.hachquet. Welcome back, Amy.
Oh, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you.
You know, I think it's interesting because I think this issue kind of gets swept under the rug of, oh, you're being emotional, you know, get over it. But empty nest syndrome, it's a real thing.
It is. It's a feeling of loss and loneliness and sometimes grief that parents experience when their children leave home for the first time or are about to attend college. Another common theme that emerges is issues around their physical safety. Are they, without your day-to-day guidance, going to be able to navigate the world and encounter life's challenges, you know, with ease and grace that you have instilled within them? It's a big shift for the whole family.
Absolutely.
Right,
You can't provide that safety net if they're too far away from the net.
Absolutely.
Of course. I remember when my dad drove me to the airport to move here in 2006, it was total full-blown waterworks. I mean, it's very tough, and it can be very difficult. How do you cope with something like that? I mean, my dad and I, we lived together for the better part of 22 years. When I walk out the door and the rest of the house is empty, how do you come to grips with that?
Well, on the flip side, the research is also showing what parents are beginning to discover, which is that empty nest syndrome doesn't have to be that empty after all. So that common identity of who am I if I'm not raising kids is becoming less and less common because parents are better able to anticipate this day, they're planning in advance, and when you have a set of plans ready to launch in motion and in tandem when your child launches, the whole family can grow and shift together.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's about filling up that space with something else that is inspiring or invigorating for each person. I love that you're addressing this, to be honest, because it is very timely, and it happened in my house. I watched my brother and sister go off to college, and there was a shift in the house, and I will say it was a little sad. It just felt more empty for than my parents and I. Have you seen people be successful in this transition, and what did you see them do?
The most successful families look through this through the eyes of their child, and when you look at it through the perspective of the child who's launching, there is so much excitement and there is so much desire to learn and to become independent. And so as siblings, as parents, we can say, well, what about our next chapter, and what is that going to look like? And to embrace that and to move forward and make those plans as well. Maybe it's about career advancement or launching into another arena, volunteering, rejuvenating life with your partner, or bonding with your siblings in a different type of way.
Adopting a pet maybe at that time too might be
absolutely.
good.
That's an excellent idea.
Just
actually, that is. I actually know people who've done exactly that. Now their kids.
This is my baby.
Their
now.
kids are about to move out, and they have 2 puppies.
It is great
so
coping.
funny.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Well,
very cool. So, if somebody finds themselves in this situation, what would you say is the first step to be able to kind of make that move? I mean, it's easy to say, just do this, but how do you mentally just prepare yourselves to make that move?
It is a mindset. I think you have to be patient and kind to yourself. Allow yourself and your family to adjust to those changes. Also, rest in your confidence and your resilience as a parent, because you have successfully navigated your child through these different life phases.
And
this
alive.
is another one. They're alive. And so really, congratulations are actually in order this time of year.
Absolutely. No, it's a huge triumph. I think it's interesting, too, because I think we associate the term empty nest as like sort of a very fragile thing that mothers go through. But in fact, you know, it's a representative of a transition, and I think it's cool you mentioned your dad.
It's a major shift. I think honestly, now that I think back on it, my dad was probably crying because his IT professional inside the house was gone. And,
sure.
Alas. No, it really is an interesting thing. I know how it can be as well. I have a 20-month-old, and I'm going to be seeing him for the next, at least 17, 18 years at the very least. Probably the way things are going nowadays, about 40, probably 40 years. But the second that you see them walk out the door and you know that they're not coming back that night, that's a huge life change. So I can understand how that can be there, and just filling it with something positive is a good thing.
Absolutely. Just be ready to go, and the whole family launches together. It's a different type of shift, but you can do it.
You know what I love is when I have seen in my life when couples, kind of the mother and father, look at this as an opportunity to come back together and kind of strengthen their relationship. And usually it's by coming up with activities they love together.
Yes.
You know, whether it be we're going to buy a Winnebago, or we're going to golf, you know, 5 days a week, or we're going to bicycle. You know, that can happen. That can work. That can be neat.
Find something to do with the time other than just sitting there and wallowing in your own self-pity.
Right. I mean, if you've been attending, you know, soccer games on Saturdays for the past 17 years, now is the time to form new hobbies together and to get reacquainted. Sometimes we're so busy with our children and running them around that we kind of forget we've got our partner right next to us.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
It's great having you. One thing not to do is go on Facebook and start political wars. Don't suggest that. You see a lot of people trying to fill that with it.
No, I totally agree with you. That's good advice.
It's great having you.
Thank you so much.
Having you. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, if this conversation hit home with you and you'd like some support with empty nest syndrome, you can contact therapist and life coach Amy Hachquet. She's fantastic. Her website and phone number are right there on your screen. You can also watch this interview again on our website, LasVegasMorningBlend.com.